Welcome to We Are Live. I am Travis Terrell, and you are joining us on this fine day here in St. Louis. Do not adjust your cameras. Do not freak out because you do not hear the sultry sounds of one Chris Denman. We have decided to go across the pond and bring in a reliever. It's black and red today here on We Are Live. Joining me in studio in place of Chris Denman, who is on assignment, none other than the great John B.B. Abai Jack. John, hello, governor.
Oh, here we go.
Hello.
Out the gate.
Hello, crumpets and tea.
Listen, I have a rule that every single day, one human that I meet or interact with impersonates me. It doesn't. One day, a UPS guy came to my front door and impersonated me as he gave me a package, and I was like, "Really? Is this where we're at?"
How did he know to just?
Well, no, because he was obviously my UPS guy, but he was just then went off on one with a British accent. I was just like, "Oh, is this how this works?"
Hello, Clive Owen.
Oh my God. See, I would impersonate you, but I just feel that might be inappropriate.
That would probably end our live stream. That would do it for us as a show. Of course, always producing this amazing program. Technical extraordinaire, Christopher Gardner.
What you into?
There he is.
Good morning, gentlemen.
He's moved into the bottom corner now.
You're also missing the beautiful voice of one Bree Weaver, who is not necessarily on assignment. She's with her homegirls as they're hitting the streets to Nashville for a birthday party this weekend. So Bree got a head start on the road with her girlfriend. So it's going to be myself, Beebs, Gardner on this fine Friday. Gentlemen, we have ended week one of the return, the reimagination of one. We Are Live. Your early thoughts on this first week, embarrassing ourselves in front of the camera.
Well,
Oh boy. Oh boy. I think I may have stepped in it now. Oh boy.
well, I don't know about that. I don't have many thoughts on the first week, to be honest. It's been kind of a blur.
It's been a huge, well, to be honest, the last 3 weeks has been a blur. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, it was like a whirlwind.
It's just, I think it's getting through the first week and then
Yes.
kind of settling in. So,
One of the
I don't care.
the funniest thing was the rehearsal we did last Sunday when we were in here, and I was saying to you guys, I was like, you do realize there's 4 cameras in here, and you were just like, blah, blah, because you've been doing radio for so long that there weren't cameras on you. And it was like, guys, you're on film.
It is an incredible adjustment because, yeah, Bees is right. We were doing radio and pod with no cameras for 3+ years, and we have terrible body language. We have terrible facial expressions. We are easily distracted. And so now that we have 4 different camera angles on what we're doing, you become subconscious, if you will, about certain things you do. And Bree has been very good about keeping us in line about some of our little tics, because we'll do it and fall back into bad habits, and we have to remind ourselves.
Travis, knock it off.
There, see, yes, that's yeah, and rightfully so. But we talked about this first week being a whirlwind and embarrassing ourselves. I have some news today. I unfortunately was hacked.
Hacked where?
My personal photos were hacked and leaked online.
Were they on the cloud or something? Or
They were in the Wi-Fi. I think it gets the Wi-Fi.
in the Wi-Fi.
It was in the Wi-Fi.
This sounds like my grandfather talking about the internet.
It got caught up in the Wi-Fi, and
So when you say hacked, though, and your personal photos were hacked, what you're saying is they were there, right?
they were
So you're saying the photos that were there are real. They're real photos. That's what you just said with the statement you made.
they were photos for my personal use.
Okay, but they're real.
Yeah, they're real. I mean, I'm not going to sit up here and lie to anybody. I'm not that kind of person. Why would I lie just for my own personal benefit? I wouldn't do that. I don't even know a black man currently in the news who would ever consider doing something like that. But
Hashtag Terrell hoax.
God, we'll get into that more later in the show as well.
Will we?
Well, we just recently discovered that Beebs, who is one of the hardest working humans on earth,
Right before the show.
right before the show, told Gardner and I, hey, have you heard this story about this African American actor? Paying two black men to essentially beat him up so he can. And
we stared at Beebs for a second, and then we stared at each other.
Well,
and we
honestly,
like,
when I said it, and you were doing
with
that,
us?
when you did that
Yes.
stare, I was like, was I listening to like a joke radio channel? And you're like, what? And then you're like, oh no, we've been talking about this all week, and I was just like so oblivious to it.
Beebs was in another country 2 weeks ago, and the guy literally runs an incredibly successful merchandise.
It'll be in another country tomorrow.
It'll be in another country tomorrow. So the guy is just all over the place. So it makes sense that he has been living under a rock. So when he said it, I was like, okay, I think he's messing with us.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, Beebs isn't news freaks like us where we're consumed by everything on social media.
And I, quite honestly, too, I forgot until Beebs brought it up before the show, too. I forgot we were still in a national emergency.
Yes. He was like, well, I've just been more concerned about the national emergency at the border. And I was like, that is a responsible citizen. That
And
is
me, too, since
Yes.
I'm dabbling in MAGA now.
Yes,
So,
and we have all noticed. But speaking of MAGA, I believe one of their tech guys got into my phone.
Russians?
I would assume. I'll be honest.
North Koreans.
I ain't never met a Russian a day in my life. I don't. If a Russian walked in here right now, I'd be like, "Hello, mate." I don't know even how to talk to him. I don't. How does that work with them? But I think they got into my phone and they released some photos that I really didn't want the world to see. So I'm just glad we were able to scour the internet,
Well,
I mean,
erase those photos,
I've seen
and delete it from.
I've seen this photo, and what I'm amazed about was, I mean, there must have been professional photography in it because there's no selfie stick.
Oh boy!
There we go.
Oh God.
There we go.
Oh
I mean,
boy!
you and
So what is this? Now,
Oh,
you've admitted
boy.
it to being real.
who took the photo?
I think it was my security cam in my apartment. Why they have cameras inside my apartment, I don't know. But
So is this Mardi Gras Tupac's ghost, or what is this?
okay,
Now, why is Tupac? I was not familiar with this Tupac photo to begin with. Is that an album cover? Was it for a magazine shoot?
I believe this is the famous Tupac photo.
Don't say famous to make me feel bad for not being aware.
I think it was in the Rolling Stone. For those who are listening at
Okay.
home, I'll admit, for the sake of us trying to sell tickets to the upcoming Mardi Gras event at 1860 Saloon, which you can currently purchase, and also hit up Mr. Denman in the DMs if you're trying to get the hookup on the VIP discount. I took a photo.
Wait, just a second.
okay.
Where are
Oh,
you
boy.
and Tupac buying bejeweled underwear? That's what I want to know. Where, like, I've never seen. I don't go through Target and I'm like, oh, you know what I need is some Mardi Gras beaded underwear.
A lot of people don't know this. There's a guy on the highway at most exit ramps that sell these things, that sell bedazzled
I always
underwear.
ignore them. I think they're asking for money for.
Wait.
Well, no, that's the thing. It's kind of like a secret menu at McDonald's. Like you think they're homeless people, but what they're doing, they're actually selling exclusive
Where?
That's why-
wear.
That's-
Which highway?
Generally, like right by the Dome in downtown St. Louis before you hop on 170. Or hop on 70,
Yeah,
excuse me.
170.
That's
Where are
does not
you?
connect downtown.
That doesn't make sense.
But I in the photo, which apparently is still online. I don't know how.
Yeah, and
God
I'm
was
just leaving
able
it
to
up
still,
there too.
I
on
think
the
more
screen.
importantly, I love that you were, on your security camera in your home. You go around, you're like, I know the government's watching, and they're not getting a nipple shot.
That's
like
very
you've
true.
got your We Are Live nipple covers.
You have some decency.
your pasties, I think they're called.
Well, I was called yesterday the black male Lena Dunham.
Yeah?
Because you know what? I'm body positive. That's a word. I know
I mean,
if Chris was
positive.
here
I
right
mean,
now,
like,
he'd be cringing.
double positive.
Well-
I'd go with. And that's aggressive. I mean, if you look at you compare, I saw that too.
So I'm in. So for
Photo
everybody
before.
listening, I am in. I
I
have
just
Mardi-
like leaving this thing up here.
God,
I love that
this is gonna be
Travis's
the entire
face
show.
is right next to it.
It really is right next to my own crotch. But I am. If you haven't seen the Tupac photo, there's a famous Tupac photo from a Rolling Stone photo shoot where he's in a bathtub and he's got a bunch of jewelry around his crotch, and he's completely naked elsewhere. In my photo, I have Mardi Gras beads around my crotch. I'm distracted by my
Mardi
body.
Gras.
That's why I can't speak. Mardi Gras beads around my neck. 2 We Are Live stickers on my nipples.
Wait a minute.
And
Are
I'm
you
in
wearing
Timberland. I'm
Are
in
you wearing
Timberland
boots in that
I
photo?
am wearing Timberland boots.
Where'd you get Timberlands?
They were on sale at Shoe Carnival, so I decided why not.
Shoe carnival.
All right,
it's-
I'll
it's-
take the photo down for now. Now, I would like to say this, though,
Very
Travis.
disturbing.
On that photo, Tupac has what was it? A Thug Life tattoo?
He did have a Thug Life tattoo on around his stomach.
Someone suggested you should have a Hug Life tattoo, right?
I am about the Hug Life.
Someone mentioned that on the Friends of WAL page on Facebook, I think. So we thought we'd just kind of take a look at that and see what that might look
Jess,
like.
that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
I love that the font that's been used is like really podgy in comparison to the normal Thug Life
Yeah.
thing as well.
That's actually not even a font. That's me trying to use the draw option. So I drew that actually.
No, it was thinner than that. It's just the pudge from my stomach
It's stretched
spreading
out.
the font out. That's actually what it's not your fault, Gardner.
No.
It is my that's my diabetes hovering around my stomach, and that's what stretched out the font.
So there's Hug Life.
And I love that there's a spaceman left for your belly button as well. Hug lie.
I was conscious of that. I was like, no one just gets tattooed over their belly button.
Look, we're trying to sell tickets because we really want you all to come out and have a great time with us for Mardi Gras. It's going to be a ton of fun. It's really, you got to talk about an event with drinks and food and music. And again, indoor entry. And for those who have ever been to Mardi Gras, you absolutely understand why that's important. And of course, restrooms. You're going to want that, especially for those who are
Always.
getting up at 5 a.m. in the morning to start your drinking regimen. So this is a great opportunity. Again, jump into the DMs of @TweetDemon. Let him know that you're interested in purchasing tickets, and he will hook you up with a special We Are Live discount. Again, that's at 1860s Mardi Gras tent, Saturday, March 2nd. Tickets $85. Again, includes occasion buffet, open bar, live music, and giveaways. And again, private bathrooms. And if you've ever gone to a type of event like this, even a large music festival, you understand how important private bathrooms
Honestly,
are.
that was the big thing. I remember, like, I've only been in St. Louis for a little over 2 years, and every time Mardi Gras come around, they're like, "Do you want to buy tickets?" And I was like, "Yeah, like I'm kind of good. I like being out. I like being
Right.
in the dust of the arena
Right.
sometimes." And yeah, I think that being out there, and then everyone's like, "No, you need to get tickets." And I was like, "Why?" And they were like, "Bathrooms."
Yes.
No one. I mean, everyone's so hammered already by 7:30 in the
Yes.
morning. They don't need the free drinks and the food, but. You know, as we progress in life,
Yes.
you know, maybe there should be a little bit more decorum in our drinking technique.
The way he
Concur.
says that.
I like that.
And then I should just do adverts for stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I think that people just trust me.
Well, sadly, I have to agree. As we were promoting our own show to get set to launch the reimagination of We Are Live, we decided to put together some commercials. And we thought, oh, wow, we have an illegal immigrant in our office. Who better to use to give work to than one John Beebe?
So you thought you'd give work to yourself, Travis? Is that what you're saying?
Basically, yes. 34 years under the radar. Take that, U.S. government. But in this instance, we were inspired by David Attenborough and the great people over at the BBC who put together, of course, Planet Earth. And we thought, well, we're very odd, creepy creatures. When people
And we just happened to find out that Biebs can actually do a pretty good
Well,
Sir David Attenborough.
here's the
very
thing: is
good.
like when we said we would do it, I was like, David Attenborough is an iconic
Yes,
voice. It's
he
like
is.
me saying to Travis, like, do a Morgan Freeman, right? And you can do
When
do
I
what
was
you
a little boy, I used to talk like
exactly
this.
like. I mean, you think, oh yeah, in your own head you can kind of sound like it, but I thought this isn't going to work. And we were in this room before it was a full studio, and we recorded something, and then I played it back,
Yeah.
with Chris, and you went, hold on, I went, you went, hold on. Have you put a British filter on that?
It was extra British.
I was like, Travis, we
Garnet.
recorded this 3 minutes ago.
I was like, no, seriously, is there an app you went to? How did you? And it was like, oh, wow, we got something going here. So we came up with the concept called Planet WAL. And boy, oh boy, was it fun to do. It was, I will acknowledge, Gardner and I spent the first few days tried to come up with some concepts, and we ultimately just said, screw it, let's just film what we can all in one day. And we did a lot of that all in one day. And it was exhilarating in the fact that we had ideas and we were just like, nah, we'll do it. It wasn't like a back and forth. We would just come up with like, hey, you should run from the cops. And I go, okay.
Yeah, but also one of the funniest thing is that what did we do? 4 videos in total. So I had no idea what the content was. I just got a script to turn up in my email and just been like, hey, can you just record this? So I'm recording stuff and I'm like, I have no idea what this is going to go next.
There was a moment when it was snowing this day. It was one of the snow days.
Yes.
Travis and I went into the Central West End. We went into my neighborhood because we were looking, mind you, I'm with a black gentleman.
Yes.
We were looking for the police.
Yes. We went
Because we needed a car.
Yes.
We wanted a car. Travis wanted to run from the car, even if it was just parked or whatever. He just wanted a shot of him running from it.
Right.
The best we could find was the golf cart that goes around the Central West End.
Yeah.
And we ended up behind it filming.
Yes.
And we're like, what are we doing? We're filming the police.
Yeah.
We're seeking them out. We're like, what the F are we thinking? So we adjusted.
Yeah, we did.
Because we're like, maybe we shouldn't be doing this.
Right. And mind you, everyone else within the company is back at the office, just sweating their balls off, trying to get this thing going. And here's Gardner and I in the middle of a near snowstorm, seeking out the cops for a 5-second shot.
So you could run away from them. So you could set them up.
Literally.
The surprise in Gardner's voice when he came back and he was like, we went around for an hour, couldn't find any cops.
Now, like, talk about the odds of living in St. Louis and being the black guy in the city, seeking out the cops and unable to find them.
No wonder assaults are up in the Central West End.
The problem really is you weren't driving the car,
That's a
Travis.
good
That's
point.
the problem.
See,
Yeah, black man driving like a mint green Fiat.
Something's up.
See you not get pulled over. But we I guess released some of these. We released all of them on social media.
We did.
On Twitter, on Facebook. I don't think Instagram, but we released them on the socials
We
that
did.
we used a lot. But we wanted to revisit them since Beebs is in studio with us and just kind of take you through maybe a few of these.
yes,
There was
the director DVD
Yeah.
commentary. I like this.
There was the one that, the big one, I guess. The one that
Okay.
kind of was all of us.
The launching pad.
Right. We called this one Planet WAL Creatives. And here's it.
On this planet where we reside,
Listen to that
we
voice.
find an organism immersed in the saturated realm of the American podcasts. Once unemployed and living off the breast of the American taxpayer, these
One take.
individuals have viewed themselves
I love
as
that. I
artists.
love that
too.
shot.
I get asked
The
about that
more commonly
one.
used millennial term.
I love my
creators,
overreaction.
Driven with passion, determination, and hunger.
The cop shot.
But
Supposed to
mainly
be.
hunger. They are always hungry. These ripe Homo sapiens are changing the landscape of media by using new advances in technology such as the Insta and the Skype. Look at
that.
them.
Look
full
at
of
that. Listen to that voice.
Charged with energy. The world at their feet. You can see the unwavering love.
That's my favorite shot right there. Chris
Not only
Gardner
are these
Because
smoking.
it's so
kind
honest.
humans
Yes.
entitled, but they're also full of debt. This is Planet WAL. This is We Are Live.
Now-
how powerful was that?
I want to make mention of one part of that one.
Okay.
It's where the footage of the Instagram is.
Yes.
It's 24 seconds in. I only know that it's 24 seconds in
Oh boy.
because of my mother.
Oh dear.
We released it online and on Facebook, and then I shared it on my Facebook page. I don't use Facebook a lot.
Right.
So maybe it's a surprise when I do share
probably
something.
was.
I only use Facebook when I'm putting the fair foul or melee up.
Right.
I don't really use it for anything else except for what we do on the show. It's just not what I interact with on a daily basis or interact with people that way on a daily basis.
You're a smart man.
So we released it. About 10 minutes later, my mom starts texting me. And it's basically, I'm paraphrasing here, what's that thing with the girls? And I'm like, what? Because I have no idea she's seen it at this point.
Right.
She's like, on that on that video, that thing with the girls. I'm like, what girls? She's like, it's 24 seconds in. Is that supposed to be there? And I'm like, is that 24 seconds in? And I'm going, and I get there, and I'm like, it's the big booty Instagram thing.
Yes.
And I go, Mom.
Yes.
Well, I didn't go, Mom. I was in the process of texting her, and she called me. Like it was such an emergency that she called me.
She was so concerned.
Yes. I haven't asked her, but I'm thinking that she works at Barnes & Noble,
Okay.
Mid-River, St. Peter's area.
Fancy.
And I'm wondering if she showed some coworkers.
Or she put it on the big screen.
Oh,
in the
yeah.
store.
Barnes and Noble. Hell.
And I was like, I haven't asked her, but I'm kind of getting that feeling that she might have shown someone. Like, oh, here's what my boy's up to. He's almost 40 years old, and this is what he's up to. So I'm thinking that's what might have occurred and why there was an immediate... She might be embarrassed by me some. Wouldn't be the first time. Most certainly will not be the last. But I think that's probably what happened. But she was concerned about the just, and how long? A second and a half?
Yeah, it was
Maybe?
barely that. And she completely.
And that's what she took from everything. Yes.
What I kind of realized as well of doing that was so many people that were coming in the office during the kind of ramp up to
Oh,
the show
boy.
were coming in, and we'd recorded that weeks before.
Right.
And someone came in when I really realized the impact that it had. Someone came in and saw the Roomba and was like, "Oh, your drinks dispenser," and I was like, "Yep." And it took me like 10 minutes to go like, "Oh, he's referring to the video."
Obviously it's called Ramba. It's the Ramba.
You know what? I forgot
Nope.
to write that one down the
Rumba.
other day.
The other day, Beebs, I called the automatic robot dispenser of sweeping the Ramba
Why?
because I'm an idiot, apparently.
You now think that thing dispenses like grape soda.
Why
It's a grape soda robot.
Literally the first time we used it, I was like, I'm going to put my drink on it because I think it's funny.
Just quickly, just circling back, Richard R. on Facebook said, "It's a good thing that the guy on the show relying on Facebook doesn't use Facebook on the regular."
Whatever.
Fair point.
How does this thing work? It's in the Wi-Fi.
Well, to Gardner's point now, I'm now getting those questions because, again, we made the extra effort of trying to get more people to engage with us on the show. And in doing so, our web has gone out wider. And it's to the point where now my family members are getting dragged in. So now my mother is a fan of the We Are Live page. So this has been one interesting week. On top of that, so has my sister, who's currently a senior in college. She has also become a friend of our page. And so now she is sending me every new photo update or video that involves me. And she's either laughing or she has a bunch of question marks. And this is what I was concerned about. Yes. Nothing
So
like,
it's been an eye-opening week in the
it
Terrell
has
household.
It has been. You don't understand because and Chris gives me a lot of heat about it because he thinks he's like, if you're too afraid to do it, like they're just gonna have to deal and they just have to understand that this is art and entertainment. And I'm like, it's not that at all. It's just to Gardner's situation. There's questions that are going to be asked that I don't know if my answers are going to be adequate enough.
Oh, yeah.
So when they see that photo of me looking like a broke ass Tupac, now that's a 15-minute conversation that's mostly going to be questions that even if answered correctly, still will not make sense to her.
That's it. I mean,
So that's ultimately it. Trying to explain to Mom why I did that for us trying to sell Mardi Gras tickets, it still won't register
But
to her because
love
she's
that-
like,
I
why
love-
don't you just make a regular commercial with words and keep it moving? And I'm like, Mom, you gotta find
You gotta be
creative
creative.
ways to. I don't. And
but I love that
thought
you're
was
put in that
creative.
situation and Demon's just like, they're going to have to deal with it. And you're
Yeah.
like, Chris, take your shirt off.
Right. You want to know why Chris is in the position where Beans is? Chris is very conscientious about everything
He's always
he puts in front of the camera.
Always dangling that carrot in front
Oh,
of you.
yes, he is. Yet somehow,
Yeah, he walked into the studio and said, I get that seat.
yes, he was like, I
Gotta
got
hide
this
some.
as far away as the camera as possible. And not only that, the funny thing is, Chris is making this, I think, his 4th appearance on Fox 2 News here in St. Louis to promote the Mardi Gras event. So that's why he's not here. He's actually on bigger TV promoting our upcoming Mardi Gras event with 1860. So a guy who is very self-conscious in front of a camera has appeared in front of St. Louis cameras on 4 occasions. I don't know how to explain it.
Now, has your family seen
Oh boy.
your Planet Wall promo?
That is the one that has been shared by almost every family member that I know that is currently on Facebook. Now, mind you, I've had some great successes and accomplishments over the last few years. They usually don't get touched in the share department. Travis eating a cinnamon roll while drinking a 40 ounce in the shower to promote his podcast gets shared by everyone in the family.
Let's go to the video.
Oh, God.
Often late, but always on time, the Travis Terrell is one mysterious creature
There's
and
me.
a conundrum.
Look at
to
those
most
shoulders.
scientists.
And there's me
He's
drinking
considered
the best part of the
from
video, by the way.
common nomenclature,
Because we're filming this at 9
straight.
a.m.
Yet this husky mammal resides in the quiet cul-de-sacs of North County, St. Louis. The Travis is far
St.
from
Louis.
athletic, but his posture and erratic behavior leads his prey to believe he's capable of playing sports.
And this is the
Unable
shot.
to find a
Oh,
mate,
boy.
The Travis is often lonely, and if left to his devices, is likely to end up eating pancakes in the strip club parking lot. Oh, brother from another mother. This is Planet WAL. This is We Are Live.
That was one of the hardest lines to say in a British accent. Was brother from another mother.
And
Right, being-
you added it.
because,
I did not have that in the script. Beeves just goes, I'm going to add this. I'm like, hey, man, do what you do. Do what you do.
Steve W. on Facebook says, this is your response to your mother. I'm an artist, Mum, and my medium is shame.
You are correct, sir. That's a good one. That is really good.
I'm peddling shame.
Oh, man.
It's so good.
That's good.
There were
man.
moments in some of the filming we've done and the photo shoots though where I'm, up a ladder, like leaning over everything. Oh
thing-
wow, I'm very orange.
Because we are attempting to be creatives, if you will. That's the thing. Like, because we're again in the middle of our upstart of our business, and so things are moving, and a lot of people are coming in and coming out. The thing is, when you're filming all of this, there are people who don't really understand yet what we're doing in here.
Yeah.
So when they come in here and they see a half-naked black man surrounded in Mardi Gras beads, they're just, oh God, what have I stepped into?
What is going
Kind of
on?
hard to explain. And then, like I said, we did with the reaction video from the Fire Festival. Obviously, we're at a beautiful building in Midtown, but there are other offices and businesses within the same building. And when I was yelling, I believe the words were, he's sucking dick for water. I was
But you
yelling that.
screamed it, like,
I
at the-
screamed it at the top of my voice, but I thought the door outside the studio was
Yeah.
closed.
Right.
It was
It
not.
wasn't. You ran out the door and it was.
I ran out the door, and there's literally like 3 sponsor clients, 2 other business associates for other businesses walking through the hallway, and I could not apologize more profusely than I did.
But it was so
in that
funny because
moment.
then we were just like, oh no, we're a creative agency.
Yes.
We're
That's-
creatives, it's fine.
They're like, what are you creating?
What are you
What are
creating?
you creating?
One of your guys just yelled, "I'm sucking dick for water."
The thing is, it's like within context of what we do, and we were talking about this earlier before the show, is like within the context of what we're doing, there's like a linear thought process
Right.
behind it. And we're like, oh, this, then this, then this. And then sometimes you realize you've done 3 left turns, and all of a sudden you're
Yes.
so far away from what you're
Yes.
doing.
Yes.
To us, it's hilarious. And then we put a video out, and we're like, oh, yeah, that could be seen differently by some people.
And I think that day, I believe Matt Whitener was in the offices, and I was yelling that line for our reaction video for the Traview, And oh boy, coming around the corner after yelling that line, and there's just Matt Whitener standing there just in shame, shaking his head at me. And I couldn't explain myself because what do you say to someone after you have said those lines?
Your reaction was priceless. You just walked out and you were like, oh, hey, Matt. Don't question.
So you're thinking about doing a podcast here, huh? Welcome. So, yeah, but Biebs has been our hero from jump throughout this entire process. Unfortunately for us, and fortunately for him, he is going to be traveling across the pond back home to take care of some business. So he'll be out of the offices for a while. But since we have this moment, and I've said this to you several times over the last few weeks, we cannot thank you enough for getting us to this point, because you have been the guy that's been spinning 25 plates at once, and not at any point have you gotten a metal bat and smashed it across our faces.
I think with stuff like this, what's so interesting was all of us together did that pivot from radio to this.
Yeah.
And knowing from the get-go, I was like, I know where I want to get it. And when we're still not fully there.
Right.
Like, we're still kind of, we needed to get the thing going to like experience it, see how we're doing, and then like how we can then develop to the next phase, like phase 2 of this. But it's been an insane amount of fun, because it's been a balance of like technical stuff and creative, and people learning different things, and also sometimes where it's like people kind of just go, oh, well, Biebs knows what he's doing, and I'll just turn around and go, no, I'm learning.
and look, when you have two students like Gardner and Travis, you need an extra gallon of patience, and Biebs has had that for us, so we're incredibly grateful, and we thank him, of course, for stepping in for Kristen today.
It's been fun.
That's how we got all this done.
Oh God, I don't know how this happens without him. I really do not.
But I also have to thank probably a list of 10 people that were on speed dial of like, wait, what is this all about? And people have been, again, insanely patient with me.
We would talk to each other and be like, who do we know that can do this?
Yes. And it wasn't, but this is one cool thing about it, though. Over the many years of all of our different experiences, we were able to frequently call on people we have worked with in the past who were happy to come in and help us out and lend a helping hand. So it was a lot of people who were willing to just step in and, oh yeah, we've worked with them in the past, and they've been happy to come in and assist.
I think it's also, in all honesty, it's a testament to St. Louis. Like, I mean, if you tried to do something like this in London, everyone would be like, you're a competitor now. We don't want to talk to you.
Good point.
Like, there is that whole, whereas in St. Louis, people say, you're a competitor, but you're going at it at a different angle, and I'd love to see what you're doing and understand the competition. And generally, there's kind of a friendly, competitive nature in this city, and no one's trying to stand on anyone too much or anything like that, and everyone's willing to help. And that's one of the things of being in a very creative city that I've seen, where I'm like, oh, you can call someone, and although you're doing very similar things, people are like, oh, this is great, like blah, 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 and everyone's willing to help and jump in and come and give you a hand.
That is the beauty of the artistic scene here in St. Louis, and that's why we're so happy to promote so many comedians and so many great acts here in St. Louis. But we're also happy to give great shout outs to the folks who support us, specifically Tom Bannister, a realtor for Circa Properties. So why work with Tom, Gardner, you ask? I have spent all my life in St. Louis building an extensive 8-year background in sales client relationships. Tommy is a 4th-generation St. Louisan, and sales is in his blood. He was raised listening to stories, learning lessons on persuasion, presentation, and problem solving from his father. Who he considers the best salesman he has ever known. He strives to make the process of selling your home as easy as possible for sellers, and he has a full team supporting him in trying to make this happen. He prides himself on the ability to listen and deliver what his customers want, and to make sure they are having fun along the way. So if you're looking to take care of your realty needs, make sure you hit up tom.bannister, BANNISTER, at Circus, STL, or 314-393-5386. Many of the great people who, of course, support us here on We Are Live. We hope you all are having a great day. It is Friday. Thank God.
Let's get the fair or foul out there.
Let's get it out 100%. There indeed.
What
What is today's foul of fairness.
Now we have a little bit of a British theme since our friend John Beebe is in. You want to email WAL at weareliveradio.com for your submissions. We'll read them at the end of the show.
Okay.
Travis, I think you're reading them today.
Boy, oh boy, I am. What did I sign up for?
Yeah.
Why?
Maybe. If you can log into the email that's necessary.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if I'm...
I'll get that info to you. I'll make sure you get
It's
it.
in the Wi-Fi. Don't worry. It's
Yeah,
there.
we'll find it in the Wi-Fi. If they can find your pictures, hack your pictures, and
Sure, we can get some
Wi-Fi.
text over to you.
Yeah. So that's where you want to go to put your submissions in.
Okay.
The winner will get a $10 gift certificate to Buzz's Hawaiian Grill. Fair or foul today? Monarchies.
That's it. Just
That's it. That's it. Today's fair or foul?
Monarchies.
Monarchies.
And I will tell you, in the UK, it is a 50-50 split on whether it's worthwhile having one.
Because I think, I mean, from what I've been able to see, people really like, oh, it's great for tourism, but at the same time, what's the
What cost?
At what cost?
That's honestly, and I'm kind of bipartisan on that. I'm
Really?
like, it's fun and it's great and it's part of what the UK is, but you know, like they do a lot for charities and raising money and things
Right.
like that, but that's way too serious for
Are
fail
you
or fail.
freaked out about how much Americans love the royal family?
Oh, so I've got a fun fact about that. When we had the royal wedding with Kate and Will,
Right.
so there's a big kind of roundabout out the front of the palace.
Right.
And they put up these temporary structures for all the TV studios. So it was just boxes.
Okay.
And then they did that. There was, I think, 2 for UK television, right? Different channels.
Right.
And for the US, there were 17.
Shut up.
For the US, it's like that's how many people were there. I was like, it's insane. I remember when, and now I'm going to trip over. George, their firstborn was born.
Okay.
We took off from the UK and we were flying to the US, and the first thing they said when we landed was, "It's a boy." And his name is George, and the plane erupted, and I was like, "What is where at?" It was like being in a movie theater in South St. Louis. Everyone's like, "Yeah, yeah!" And I was like, "Oh, what?" By the way, I don't understand. I go to the movie theater to go and experience and be enveloped into a movie.
Right.
And when I have someone screaming behind me, and I was just like, I can't do this. I've now got a projection screen in my own home to really enjoy movies.
Yeah, it's something. I don't know what it is about white people who go to movies and they talk through movies and they love to clap and cheer. African Americans are notoriously known just for being quiet people who just sit there, sitting on their hands, taking in the storyline, taking in the character development. They're not one to truly react to things online. They just simply they see the theater and they just sit there, eat their popcorn, and at the end of it, they just head on out the door into the parking lot.
Shake hands with the person next to them and leave.
This was a delightful film.
One of my most favorite moments was I went to go and see like a preview of this like horrific horror movie. I'm not into horror movies at all. And it was this thing, I think it's called Inside. It's a French movie. I watched it in New York, and I'm not joking. It was so messed up, I was laughing hysterically.
Jesus.
And it like messed me up for a good 2 days afterwards, where I was like, it was like a psychological, like
wow.
Like, I don't know if you've seen a movie called Knock Knock with Keanu Reeves.
I have, because there's a couple scenes in there that end up in my queue for whatever reason. But yes. Yeah, I don't know that.
But I just never forget something horrific happened, like someone's face got slashed off or something like that in this movie. And just what triggered my laughter was this African American guy behind me just went, "God damn." And I just burst into hysterics because it wasn't like, "Ah!" or anything like that. I was just like, what an amazing reaction. Someone's face has been cut off, and that's your reaction. It was so understated, but utterly brilliant.
I think I said this. I think the reason why Black Panther was so successful is because the director Ryan Coogler knew call and response. And it's a thing, of course, in black churches where, you know, the preacher, the pastor will say something and he would encourage a back and forth with the audience. And it's kind of a thing that you will see a lot of black creatives do because it's just part of the culture. And it's funny to see that in the movie theater and then see white people just look at the rest of the movie theater as to what did we just miss? What just happened? So I would say I'm sorry for my people in the reaction, but honestly, every time I go to a movie theater and there are a ton of black people and they're adding their commentary, it adds to the film.
One thing that I do love is when there is a thing in a community, I mean, let's just say a black community where they do stuff and then white people start doing it without realizing what they're doing. Like, I went to go and see Jurassic 5 play in London, right? In a predominantly black area of London. There wasn't one black person. So this is, if you don't know who Jurassic 5 are, they're an American LA hip-hop band. All black members, and they come to London, and it is a sea of white people going to see it because their music hit the white middle class and everyone loved it, right?
Right.
But they do this thing where they would turn the lights on and then the lights off on the crowd, and they'd be saying 5, and everyone would be putting their hand in the air like that, and they go 5, close, 5, close, and it finished with them going close, and there's a sea of white people doing the black power symbol with all the lights on, and I just turned to my friend and I was like, do you think anyone has any idea what the fuck is going on here? Like, it was such a weird thing where people were like, we're totally involved in this. And then you're like, oh, wow. Like, and it's because it's subliminal, essentially. Right. And then you're like, that's what we're doing.
Right.
Anyway, quickly, Yale Hollander is just putting multiple.
This is delightful. Hey, can you make sure you get the invoices on standby? I'm just always curious as to what Yale Hollander has to add or he's willing to promote. What does he have to say, Beebs?
It's just, I mean, I can't count them, but maybe. And I quite like it because I've got one right here. He's got about 25 of these British flags.
Oh, for the love of God.
So,
they're just lying around the studio.
They just fall from the sky.
And now I've got
look at that, he's got a top hat.
What the hell is going on? What is
the
this?
Redcoats are coming.
Oh, my God.
I thought we'd have a little fun here this first segment, Travis, and try to learn more about the United Kingdom.
Okay.
Great Britain. Because those are different things, by the way.
England,
that's different.
Different as well.
Those are all three different things.
Great Britain and England are different.
Do you know the original American flag was this in the corner, not your stars. It was this in the corner and then the stripes. Oh. You're welcome for what we built, by the way.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Colonizer.
I'm about to say, oh, boy.
So we thought we'd play a little game called Truth or Tall Tale.
Oh, God.
Where I'm going to make a statement. Beebs will elaborate on that statement. And Travis, you will have to guess whether or not Beebs is telling the truth or if it's a tall tale. Now, some of these statements will be about Beebs himself.
Okay.
Some of them will just be about a country, a region across the pond.
Oh,
so it's
boy.
going to be British themed. At
Okay.
least. It's going to have that kind of tent to it.
Here's the difficult thing for me is
trust him.
I pride myself on transparency and truth, and I absolutely love that. And now I'm being forced to potentially lie.
Beebs is really one of the most honest people I know, so this is going to hurt my heart. He's lying throughout any of this.
Are you ready for a statement? I'll make a statement. Beebs will maybe say a few words on it.
Okay.
And Travis, you'll ask questions about the statement as well.
Okay.
So he can kind of elaborate some, and you have to decide whether or not he's telling the truth or if it's a tall tale. Okay?
Cheerio.
And my aim is to make you believe, no matter what, that I'm telling the truth.
Okay.
So let's start with this. Beebs once smoked a cigarette with actor Sean Bean, Ned Stark from Game of Thrones. That's to many people. To me, he's Ian from National Treasure.
No, boy.
That's
He's also in Goldfinger. No, not Goldfinger. That's the wrong one. GoldenEye.
He wasn't Goldeneye.
He plays 006, I think.
Yes,
Is
he
it
does.
tough to be an actor with the last name Bean in England,
That's a
knowing
good
that?
point.
Mr. Bean?
Yeah.
No, I don't think. I've never made that connection. But could you imagine Sean Bean playing Mr. Bean?
Yeah.
That would be.
And
Mr.
Sean
Bean's
Bean-
probably the biggest celebrity in England, at least in my mind.
He is.
There's
He's
no
paraded around in a golden chariot. Only every third Sunday. It's the only time it happens.
So there it is.
All right.
Beebs once smoked a cigarette with actor Sean Bean. You have any questions for him?
All right, Beebs. Where were you when you were smoking the cigarette with Sean Bean?
I was on a movie set
In what city?
in London.
What was the movie?
The movie was a movie called The Dark, which you may not have seen. And he was playing a farm. No, he wasn't playing the wife of a farmer. He was a farmer.
Okay.
And yeah, it was a TV studio. And yeah, it was him and Maria Bello, who you may know from
Oh boy.
Coyote Ugly. She plays the main bartender.
Oh, that's right. She's very pretty. Oh, why were you on set?
I was on set because my stepfather, who you know is an actor,
That
was
is true.
in
That
the
is
movie.
a fact. Okay, now it gets interesting because he brought the stepfather in, and I do know for a fact that Beeb's stepfather is a relatively popular actor. So, oh boy, when did this take place? What year?
I think I was about 17. So about 16. Oh God, that was 16 years ago.
The early aughts, then, I guess.
The early aughts, yes.
Okay.
Travis, as a smoker, you should ask. Well, I would ask, what kind of cigarette was it?
Yes. What kind
The
of
cigarette, the
was it?
only cigarette that I smoke, which is Marlboro Lights. Can we get that as a spot? No, we can't get that.
The only industry forced to advertise against
Right,
itself.
right. I'm about to say I don't think so.
And
Think we could have cigarette
and the stream
sponsors?
goes down, like your phone just blows up. Your
Right.
blows up from Facebook going, you can't advertise
You can't
this."
advertise.
You think if we could have cigarette sponsors, I wouldn't have Newport by now?
That's a good point. Man, the fact that I know that your stepfather is indeed an actor makes this a little bit more intriguing and
Okay,
very possible.
I'm going to cut you off now, Travis. Is
Have
he
to
telling
make
the truth or is it a lie? Is it a truth or tall tale? I already screwed up the name of my game.
I am going to go and say that it is the truth. Because Beeb travels, makes sense he would be on a set. He used to be a smoker. So, yes, I am going with Beeb's telling the truth.
It is the truth.
Yes. Yes.
Good
I
job.
was on the edge there at first, but recalling that he does have actors in his family kind of made it a little bit more sensible. Nice. That was well done.
I actually, it was right at the time he'd just done Lord of the Rings.
Shut
and
up.
I stood there and I was a
And you
huge
smoked a
Lord,
cigarette with
and
him.
I literally, it was the indoor version. It was the set. It was the Ealing Film Studios, and it was the indoor set of the cottage that they lived in.
Right.
And yeah, my stepfather's in it, and he gets trampled to death by sheep. It's a hilarious moment. And anyway, we go.
It's kind of like that Meet Joe Black scene.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, yeah, when he just bounced.
I watched that again. Every time I watch that scene, I laugh hysterically.
Yeah.
My mum saw Meet Joe Black this Christmas for the first time.
Did she laugh as well?
No, she was like, "Why are you laughing? This is horrific." And I was
Everyone
like,
laughs at that
Everyone
scene.
loves it. But yeah, they opened up the big doors. It was a set break, and I walked out, and he was stood there, and I was like, "This is amazing." And then started talking to him, and I was just like, "I just have to ask you one question." Bear in mind that I'm the biggest James Bond fan. I didn't ask him about James Bond. I
Wow.
only asked him about Lord of the Rings. And yeah, he was a very, very, very nice human being.
He's an intense actor, a guy that I believe has probably spent 90% of the roles in his life playing the bad guy.
Yep.
And he plays a bad guy as well as anyone. And I would imagine that would have been intimidating. Why didn't you not shit your pants?
Well, I think it was growing up and I've always grown up in like theatre, the arts and things like that. And
Right.
being on set with someone like that, I didn't know, like, I've met people like Rachel Weisz, who's from the original Mummy movie and things
Right.
like that. And I think that when you meet those people, you have to very quickly say, and you've met,
Right.
insanely famous people as well, you have to very quickly say they're human. And if I freak out, there's only been one
Yeah.
time in my life that I fully freaked out. And if you watch The British Office or Pirates of the Caribbean, there's a guy called Gareth from The British Office, Mackenzie Crook.
Yes.
He's the guy whose eye falls out all
Right.
the time. And I worked with him, and I completely freaked out when I met him.
I'd probably do that for Benedict Cumberbatch.
That makes sense. That's
Okay, I got some more statements here for you,
Okay,
Travis.
Okay, let's
okay.
jump.
All right, here's the next one. While playing the children's game British Bulldog with friends, Biebs accidentally burned down his parents' carriage
Oh,
house when he
boy.
was 6 years old.
Okay. How did you burn down?
So growing up, I have always had an affinity with fire. My parents think that I'm a pyromaniac. Maybe 6 years old, my parents would let me do my own fireworks displays. I mean, they're insane. And
Oh boy.
so yeah, we were messing around, and I used to always play with matches and stuff like that. And we were playing in the caravan, or carriage house, as you call it. And I was sparking matches, and one didn't go out, and it landed on the carpet and set fire. Yeah, I've never. This is still it was brought up at my brother's wedding last week. Like, people are like, oh yeah, do you remember when you did that? And I was like,
Oh yeah. How do you forget?
how do you forget? But yeah, I was always a pyromaniac. I used to set fire to things. I once set fire to an entire cornfield. So
Interesting. I'm going to make this quick. I'm going to be honest with you. I did see photos from your brother's wedding from a couple weeks ago. And so after seeing how incredibly intimidating your father looks, I'm going to say this is bullshit. This is a tale. This is not true. I'm coming out the gate letting everybody know, no way could this have happened.
Beebs.
it is, in fact, false.
It's a tall tale.
Yeah.
Tall tale. However,
Uh-oh.
Gardner came up with that lie yesterday. He said, when doing this, he did burn a carriage. I legitimately burnt a caravan to the ground.
Oh, my God, man.
Yeah, and it was pretty much exactly that. The British Bulldog thing's the only lie in there. I was not 6 years old. I was about 8 years old. And he said that, and I was like, oh, my God, like, you're so close to the truth.
This is another case where I probably shouldn't be working here. I probably should just be an FBI profiler. I think I can just feel things. I don't know. Maybe I have psychic abilities too. But they get muddied some. I don't know what's going on.
So Gardner's 2 dream jobs he's expressed this week is doorman, FBI profile.
Yeah.
At
Well,
the
look at this
same
hat
ti-
for the doorman.
At the
You do
same
look good in
time,
that hat.
Mrs. Windsor.
Maybe you could be the very first FBI profiler who's the doorman at the headquarters of the FBI.
Oh, what a great nickname for a profile. It's the doorman.
doorman. That is pretty tough.
Oh, that's a
That's,
pretty
that's
good
pretty
nickname.
good. That's a good nickname.
Call me the doorman from now on.
oh, my God.
Why do they call him the doorman? You don't want to know.
You don't want to
No,
know.
we got to, and this is a big case. We need to bring in the best. We need someone that can get to the bottom of this. I know the guy.
Who?
Who you bringing in? The doorman.
No, not him. I can't handle him. He's a loose
Are you
cannon.
kidding me, man? Are you serious? Are you willing to risk your reputation to bring in the doorman?
Come on, Chief.
Who else are we going to bring in? The doorman he was there to solve the JFK assassination. He was there when 9/11 happened. Who else to solve this crime than the doorman?
Here, I'll do this. The doorman.
Did you just sip your
I
cap?
doff.
You doffed.
Doffed thy hat. It's like they thought they were safe. They
Okay.
were wrong.
I got another one for you.
Okay.
Beebs is a lord.
Oh, wow. This is interesting because this would be the equivalent of people thinking I'm related to Nelly because I'm black and I live in St. Louis. So it would be to say that Beebs is a lord because he's from Great Britain.
Jolly old England.
But I did see again photos from that amazing wedding that Beebs attended of his brothers. Who?
Now you can ask questions.
Okay,
here.
yeah, because I'm about to ask who bestowed you with this lordship.
It was given to me on my 21st birthday.
Was there a ceremony?
No, you just the Lord's isn't high enough to be, you're not a equerry or anything like that. So
Like a sir.
you're not a sir. You don't go to the Queen. She doesn't tap you with a sword or hit you on the head. It's a certificate that you get, and it's you give.
What did
you're
you do
given-
to accomplish this?
You're given a plot of land. It's just it's lineage. It's like becoming royalty.
okay, it's
It's
the
just
lineage.
it gets passed down, and it's by being Lord of the land, basically. Not the land.
Oh, I like
Lord
that.
of
Lord of the land, Lord of
which
the
is why
land.
we have the House of Lords in the UK and the House of Commons. The Commons were the people, the Lords were the people that owned the land. That's how it works.
And how old were you again?
21. So 21st birthday gets given to you.
Is your brother a lord?
Huh?
Is your brother a lord?
No.
Okay. I am going to say this is true. But gosh, I've never heard you bring this up. And I feel like if you were a lord, man, you would at least drop that shit at least once a week.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. And I feel like there would be a major, like a huge certificate in the office just reminding people.
Oh, I'd remind you every day.
But I somehow, you're an eerily humble guy. I don't know why sometimes. Like, why are you humble? You're a very smart, tall person, and you should be a little bit more arrogant.
Shall I just give you some help from the audience?
Yeah, let's get some help from the audience.
So Richard R. is saying, isn't the Lord a title you inherit? Which is what I said. This is such BS from Gavin M., who's a great St. Louis musician.
Yes, he is.
And now he's just laughing hysterically. just.
I am.
It would be on my
beats for now like a year and a half now, and I don't recall him ever bringing this up in conversation. But then again, that's kind of an asshat
you
thing
gotta.
to do.
You're,
Okay,
you're now the person on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire
Yeah.
who doesn't know the answer.
Hey, do you want a 50-50?
Yeah.
I either am or I'm not.
you are
True or tall tale.
okay. You are a lord. I think you are telling the truth.
It is the truth.
Nice.
that?
I have a certificate as well, which I can bring in. to
Why don't
prove
you
it.
bring this up often,
Because I'm modest.
dude? You're a lord.
I'm just not a mouth.
Oh, by the way, we forgot to intro this segment.
Yes.
We have a new mouth band. We're calling it Arctic Mouth Keys.
Why?
Here we go.
No, God, no.
There we go.
Well,
That's Arctic
that.
Mouth Keys. I'm doing collaborations
I
now.
apparently.
He's doing some side projects.
Good God.
I fill in every once, just on tours. Not in studio, just on tours, really,
Oh,
Travis. So
boy.
don't worry. Okay. So you got that one right. I got some more for you here.
Okay.
All right. Let's try this one.
Just
Beebs.
quickly,
Yeah.
there is a friend of mine that's in the chat, Anne Fisher Jackson, who thinks that everything I say is utter rubbish.
Yes.
And mainly because I have this thing of, with a British accent, people believe
Yes.
anything you say.
And that's true.
But I have this rule that it's a 3-month grace period. So
Mm-hmm.
after 3 months, people then just go, you're just full of shit. That's
Yeah.
it. So yeah. My 3-month grace period is strongly over with them. So
February. Let's see, January, February. Well, we're almost there with us, too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
very
Getting
true.
there.
All right, so
this
I'm
section's going to be over in 2 weeks.
right. I will say though, I am 3 for 3 if I'm not mistaken.
You are
Yep.
correct.
All right. I know
All
Beebs
right.
better than I thought. How about that?
Beebs is not allowed in William Shakespeare's hometown of Stratford-upon-Avon, as redheaded people are banned from entering its village limits.
Oh my God. I'm not even gonna go. That's false. That's the most ridiculous thing in the world. I don't believe that's a thing. That's so false that it may be true. Shoot. Okay, let's ask some questions really quickly. When did this law go into effect?
I don't know. It's been there for the whole of time. I mean, in the same that you have ridiculous laws where, you can't, hold a turtle above your head in Iowa or something stupid like that.
Is that true?
I have no idea. No,
okay.
you know there are those ridiculous laws that
Right.
someone put it in, like.
Yeah.
Like in London, in the taxi cabs, if they're not carrying a bale of hay
Right.
in a Hackney carriage in the trunk of their car, what we call the boot, you can be arrested for it. Because the old Hackney carriages were horses, so when they would do their business, you'd have to get out and put the hay down on the ground to soak it up. So there are these old, insane laws in the UK that I have no idea why they exist or for what reason. But yeah, so let's say the 1500s, probably when they thought ginger people were,
The devil.
the devil or
That makes
witches
sense.
or whatever.
I am actually going to call bullshit on that. I do not. I'm going to say it's false.
It is, in fact, a tall tale.
Okay. I was like, man, William Shakespeare. I mean, yeah, that would be an asshole.
William
thing to
Shakespeare
do.
loved redheads.
I was about to say that would just be so rude.
All right, got some more here.
Okay.
Huh. Beebs has sipped tea with the Queen on 2 occasions.
Were you physically present with the Queen?
No, we did it over Skype. Yes, of course I was What?
I'm just, it could be like, I don't know, do they televise tea time in England? I don't know how that works.
You're like the person that if you watch church on TV, that means you went?
Yes, that's what I was
Okay.
thinking.
I listened to- I listened to the
so I had tea
rebroadcast.
with I had tea with the Queen.
Oh, I went to midnight mass.
Yeah.
You watched the Pope on television.
On 2 occasions?
You watched a YouTube clip.
Come on now.
I'm religious.
Can't you go to jail if you lie on the Queen?
Huh?
Can't you go to jail?
This
if
isn't
you
your
lie?
game, Travis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Travis just makes stuff up.
Let's see. That is such a. No one just has tea with the Queen. No one does that. You have to request an audience because I've watched the Queen on Netflix and I know how that works. So that is bullshit, false. No way have you had tea with the Queen.
Not
2
even
times.
Not even.
Twice.
Not even a question as to why or how. That's
I
what's
don't
so
believe it
funny.
doesn't matter. You are not going within 200 feet of the Queen.
Why?
No one would allow that. There's
You-
not a person on this planet
I know
that would
her-
allow
you
that.
know
to
He's a
happen.
lord.
Yeah, under
You
any
know the story. You know
circumstances.
the story. The first time I tried your herbal.
Yes.
That the first time I did that, I was in Kensington Palace.
Man, I find that difficult to believe, man. I don't think you would do that. I don't think you, because I think
All
the
right.
Queen is the real Beyonce in England. And so if she's treated as half as we treat our Queen, Beyonce here in America, then you would like to have tea twice with England's Beyonce.
Beyonce Z.
Yeah, if you had, you would be bragging to the hills about
Why?
that, because if I had tea like within 2 miles of Beyonce, I would brag about it. So no, that's
But
false.
I'm a lord, and I don't brag
believe
about it.
Nope, don't believe it. No way you had tea with the Queen twice.
It is a tall tale.
Thank you.
Gardner, we've got to
not gonna
work on these falsehoods.
I was gonna, because I'll be honest with you, I wanted that to be false, because if that was real, I was gonna be like, what the hell are we even doing? Why don't you just do your own damn podcast? Because you're a lord who's had tea with the Queen twice.
But in this, Gardner was just asking me like random questions about like ridiculousness about my life. But one of my best friends from school, his dad is the Queen's equerry, which is essentially her PA. Any photo that you see of the Queen in it, he's over her left
Are you
shoulder.
serious?
Legitimately, like that's why I've stayed in Kensington Palace multiple times.
Dude, I love the Queen.
So-
I love that show.
It's
Claire Foy for watching.
no, I'm talking about the real
Richard
Queen,
Boy.
not some American.
Oh, my bad.
Is that who you thought I had tea with?
That's what I thought.
Claire
Like, hey,
Voy.
man, you had Claire Foy, because
That's why it didn't seem realistic.
that is a quality white woman. That is a quality white woman.
I got another one for you, Travis.
Okay, what do you got?
Actress Keira Knightley's parents attended Beeb's mom's wedding.
Okay. That's the equivalent of, I used to play 3-on-3 basketball with Sterling K. Brown. And
Did you?
I could have, but it's more believable. That sounds like, gosh, I'm going to say that's true, because you come from a very famous family. So I can absolutely.
I'll reiterate this message from Travis when I go home this week.
Your family is so regal. When I saw the wedding photos, I was just like, man, this is a fancy ass family. I like them. So I'm going to say that is actually true.
This is true.
Ah, nice.
However,
So you
I
got-
misinterpreted this when I was a kid because
Okay.
they got married. My mum got married to my stepdad, the
Right.
actor, on my 16th birthday.
Okay.
And for some reason, I don't know why, I had it in my head that it was right around the time the Harry Potter books were coming out.
Right.
And I thought J.K. Rowling was at the wedding. So I'd been telling people for years, legit, I'd been telling people for years, the person that wrote Harry Potter was at my parents' wedding. And like legitimately believed it. It was just, it wasn't like,
It was like
I'm going to lie, I'm going to lie about
no,
this.
It was like, oh, I knew.
It's
it
all
was
right.
meant to be a
Elizabeth
fact.
Warren has run into the same problem.
And this is the story that made Anne, who I told you about earlier. Like I told that, and then my mum came to town. We all went to dinner, and that she's a huge Harry Potter fan. She was like, "Really, was Jake?" And my mum was like, "No," and I was like, "What?" And I looked as confused as everyone else. And then they were like, "No, but Keira Knightley's parents were," and I was like, "Why? Why have I never met Keira Knightley?"
I'm about to say, why have you not met Keira
Well, I
Knightley?
have met Keira Knightley, but by my own thing. Or maybe that's a lie. Who knows? This is the best thing is now I
Damn
can
it.
play this all the time with Travis.
Has Beebs met Keira Knightley?
I think he has. I think at some point, if the parents were at your mom's wedding, that you have had to met Keira Knightley. So yes, I believe that's true.
I have body checked Keira Knightley.
Oh my God, were you like at a bar or a club?
No, I was running around the back of a TV set, and on the back of a TV set, this
almost hurt
huge.
that beautiful woman.
Oh, I fully nearly took her off her feet.
Oh, Jesus
and I bumped
Christ.
into her, and I was like, "I'm sorry," and then carried on running, and I just stopped, and I was like, "Oh, that was Keira Knightley."
Oh my God, did you apologize profusely? Please
I
tell me
literally
you
went,
did.
"Sorry," and then carried on running. But I was like, it was in the dark, and I mean, she is wafer thin.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't snap her in half. So, yeah.
Damn,
All
Keira
right.
Knightley, baby girl, I'm sorry.
There's a truth or tall tale for today with Beeps.
Nice.
we
Well
go.
done. This is going to be a fun game. Hopefully we can play again a few more times.
Well, I was
And Beebs
saying,
does have that
as I'm
accent.
in the UK next week, from the homeland, I will probably try and video
Oh,
chat
that'd be
for
dope.
that segment.
That'd be
fun.
that'd be good. Before we move on to the rest of the show, I want to, of course, acknowledge more of the great sponsors that support We Are Live, and that, of course, is Gateway Powder Coating. They, of course, jumped on board of this fine program when we were St. Louis Live. GatewayPowderCoating.com for all capabilities, or visit in person at the shop at 1500 Progress West Lane, O'Fallon, Missouri, 63366. Don't let your metal be ruined by moisture, heat, or other unsavory circumstances. Gateway Powder Coating protects your metal. They're actually designing a really sweet logo for our office, and we can't thank them enough. So for all your powder coating needs, make sure you reach out to our great friends at Gateway Powder Coating. Also, as I mentioned at the top of our first segment, we have a really cool event we're doing over the next 2 weeks with the folks at 1860 Saloon. This upcoming Sunday is the Poskers Party. Sunday, February 24th from 2 to 5 p.m. immediately following the pet parade. So I believe the pet parade starts around 1, and once everyone starts leaving the pet parade with their really adorable animals, make your way on over to 1860 Saloon. We're going to be having competition for Best Dressed and Best Actor awards on the red carpet. It's going to be a ton of fun. Bring your pups, bring yourself. Again, that's Sunday, this upcoming Sunday, February 24th, starting at 2 p.m. as we get set for the human Oscars as well. Also, we have later in the show, yesterday had an opportunity to sit down with former vice president, executive producer of WCW, Eric Bischoff. For those who don't know maybe what WCW is, it was one of the biggest brands in professional wrestling for numerous decades. It was the head-to-head competition against what you now know as the WWE, and for 83 weeks in the late 90s, WCW absolutely dominated WWE to the point where it almost forced WWE out of business.
Oh, wow.
Eric Bischoff was the brainchild behind the renaissance of WCW. He is doing his live podcast here in St. Louis at Off Broadway this Saturday night. I believe tickets are still available. Reach out to our friends at Band from Ringside. They're helping putting this on.
Oh, amazing.
So I had a chance yesterday to sit down with him, had a quick interview. He is attached to this upcoming project. I don't know if you've seen this, with Chris Hemsworth, who will be playing Hulk Hogan in an upcoming film being directed by Todd Phillips. Of course, you may know Todd Phillips from the Hangover movies. So Eric Bischoff is attached to this, and apparently Academy Award nominee Bradley Cooper as well is going to be attached to this project. And it was announced to the Hollywood Reporter that Chris Hemsworth, yes, Thor, is going to play Hulk Hogan in this biopic that they will start putting together, I believe, later in 2019.
Have you seen the Chris Hemsworth movie Rush?
I have indeed.
He is incredible.
He's a great actor,
Right.
and he has truly evolved as, okay, that guy is the go-to guy. Like that's the guy who is becoming the next great
Well, originally
action star, great actor.
Originally, he was just completely ripped, blonde hair, and just doing that stuff. And it's like, and now it's like he's a legitimately great actor.
He is a very good actor. So we'll have that interview for you in the second segment of the show. We have gone way over our normal talking time because we're having so much damn fun. Thank you all who are currently tuning in on Facebook and those who have downloaded today's podcast. We're going to take a quick break. This is We Are Live. I'm Travis Terrell. And for Chris Dimon today is John Beebe. Bree is on the road safely heading to Nashville. And of course, Gardner producing this fine program. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.